That was pretty good, Clue. I should have actually just hit unmute and let you do it. But hello and welcome to Fragments of Remains, session 26. It's been almost a month since our last game. So let's go around and just check in with each of the players before we get started and see how well they can do the recap after having a few weeks off. Togo, you've been doing a lot the past couple weeks, so let's start with you.
Yeah, so I guess the week after we our last session, I had my last day at my old job, and then I moved a bunch of my stuff that Tuesday up to Northern Virginia into the new apartment that me and my girlfriend are moving into. And then I fixed stuff up and started moving stuff from her apartment that she's staying in now because we're trying to get out of there before the first. And then I drove back that Friday, flew to Texas that Saturday, and I'm still in Texas right now, so I'm throwing together what had to play this evening. But and then I'm flying back on Friday this week, and then I drive back up there. Or no, flying back Thursday and driving up Friday. We're doing it all again, and hopefully I should have all my stuff together for Tuesday, where next week.
Hopefully, it's a lot to get done.
A lot to do, but it'll be great. It'll be fun. It's not like I'm working right now, anyways.
Modar, how was the past few weeks for you, bud?
It's been pretty good. Things have been, crazy busy at work. I actually managed to get out yesterday, do a little bit of get out on the water, do some snorkeling, enjoy the local wildlife. It was very, very nice, relaxing, and it looks like I finally may have got my 3070 through the Newegg Shuffle today. So cross my fingers that ships out tomorrow.
Ooh, congratulations.
Will you know by tomorrow, like for sure, if you got it?
I should, like I said, I've gone through everything. I just double checked Newegg. It says it's been purchased. It says my payment cleared, and it's in the packaging process. So, like,
Nope.
my understanding on this whole thing with the Newegg Shuffle, now that they've got that going, it's pretty safe. It's like 99% safe at this point. So, hopefully, it ships out tomorrow.
Me and a couple of my friends were signing up for the Newegg Shuffle for another friend of ours, and whoever we'd all sign up for the same thing that he wanted to be able to basically give him our entries if he got it, but he ended up getting it on his own.
This is the first time I did one. I only selected one item instead of like 2 or 3 backups, and I got it. Like, I've been doing this for the last few months, and I've always just I just click on, all right, I want, this one, click all the ones that are possible for me. And when I just clicked on one item, I got it. Like, the first time I went down to one item, I got it. So,
What is this shuffle? I mean, how does this work?
it's like
You have to
Basically,
do a dance, and if you do really good, you get picked.
Yeah, I definitely never get picked.
do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, and you get some computer parts.
So yeah, essentially what it is it's basically going into, instead of having everybody raid their website at the same time, they've decided we're going to do a lottery at X time. They announce when they're going to do the lottery, and they announce all of the items that are going to be in the lottery, and then you sign up for the items that you're interested in, and then at the time they send you an email. You've signed up for the shuffle or the lottery, whatever you want to call it. And then a few hours later, they usually send you a message saying you were not selected. And today it said that I was, so yeah.
And I think you have 24 hours or something like that to make a
I
purchase
was less
after.
than that. I think I had till the end of the day today. Like, if you had like 4 or 5 hours to do it.
Congratulations, you were selected to be able to spend money at our website for the item you actually want.
Basically.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you got it. I know you've been waiting for a few months, like you said. Sonashi, how are the past few weeks for you?
Very busy. Late nights and just a lot of Facebook Marketplace, man. It's like crack. I'm hooked on it. So like one day, I made like 4 trips, I think, all over town. I kept finding more and more stuff that I wanted slash needed. And in between bringing more stuff in the garage and then having to try to organize the garage so it would fit. It's been a lot of work. But other than that, that's pretty much been my life.
Cool. Well, at least everyone has been keeping busy the past few weeks. I hope each of you are looking forward to tonight's session. But with that on a note, unfortunately, Alencia will not be joining us tonight. Hopefully she just maybe got some times mixed up and thought we started at 8. I don't know, shoulder shrug, but remains to be seen. With that in mind, I will give you each the opportunity to do the recap, of course. And again, from it being a few weeks since our last play, our last session, if there's anything missed or whatnot, I will add on to it. So,
Who is Dr. Cinnabon?
Kasai.
shh,
Oh.
don't make
I
me meet
figured.
you.
I'd say, come on, Clue, you're smarter than that.
Dude, I'm tired, man. But
So recap time.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I guess we woke up at the tavern we were staying at, and I went downstairs and had a beer with breakfast and chatted with the innkeeper while I think Zanashi and Olentia went to the ring where they'd be fighting and hung out for a while, and then I moseyed my way over there. I don't remember what Lodar did at that time, but then we all went and watched Zanashi disappeared for a little bit, and we later found out that she went and covered herself in oil. And then we all went to the fighting arena where I made friends with some big old centaurs, and we watched all the fights, and the champion absolutely clobbered the person that they were fighting. And then Alencia went in and made us all a bunch of money. Some orcs tried to harass me after they realized I was associated with Zanashi, and my centaur friend that I had made a bunch of money for had picked me up, and we were hanging out, and they backed off after that. And then Zanashi fought and tore the horn off of a minotaur and stabbed them with it while I gave bardic inspiration to her and won her fight. And then I went and chatted with the owner of the bar dash head of all of the shipping in the city and was told there is no possible way for us to get to the island that we're trying to get to, and instead was given some information and suggested to maybe a couple of captains to go talk to. That's about what I remember from last week. Or last time we played.
I'm gonna say last week. Dude, I must have missed.
That's when Togo watched the VOD. Anybody got anything to add?
I do remember that Modar did manage to get into one of the local bookshops and got a few books and started reading up, getting some information about a group of travelers that acquired some magical components for a that would allow a ship to fly. So he's currently going through those as he can and as he has time to.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
They're-
Elysium Dynasty and the 5 Ambassadors, Volume 1.
Yeah. And you got the names of the boats, of two of them. You were able to put together the letters that we had seen on the side of the two boats onto ambassadors. That's it.
Yes. Yep. Tismogan, Zolos, and Tempest Sapphirus.
Sapphirus. Indeed.
And we all want some money.
Yeah, I was going to say a big nice point was while each of you got to place bets on the fights, Alencia and Zanashi both ended up being rated as underdogs without having a record on their belt or anyone really necessarily knowing who they are for that matter in the area, and each of you gaining quite a good amount of gold from placing nice hefty bets.
All I remember is going because I got my ass beat up pretty bad, and I think I remember trying to find a. Maybe I'm thinking of another time, but I thought I'd try to find like a place to relax. And if I didn't, that's what I'd be trying to do, though. Try to
You
recuperate.
did, actually. You had inquired about a place to relax, as you stated, and getting a nice, petite, small barmaid to give you a massage and rub you down in some warm oils upstairs while you relaxed.
And she can run downstairs too if she wants. Just kidding.
Maybe. You have to roll pretty high persuasion there, Zanashi.
Probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, even if you rolled a nat 20, I'd just be like, nope, right before the dice roll. But after the fights and everyone was about to be announced of what the next rounds were going to be, that is when Zanashi had mentioned her removing herself from the brawl, and oddly enough, maybe conveniently enough, Zanashi and Alencia were to be facing head-to-head the next day. However, on May 2nd, the only round will be from the previous champion and an orc from Zanashi's old clan.
See, I bought Valencia a day off.
But with the rounds taking place at noon, it's still fairly early in the day, a little bit late into the afternoon. So we'll continue our story with this. As the sun is making its way down to the western side, the day still fairly young. A crystal clear blue sky and a few clouds above. While Zanashi, Alencia, and Modar continue relaxing, Togo has made his way to the dock area in order to speak with Captain Venga. After following a bit of direction from the locals, Togo, as you arrive at the dock area, you can see that this is not what you may have fully expected. While there is a wooden dock here, it just stretches out from the cliffside over a vast drop straight down to the sea below. In the distance to the south, you can see nearly a dozen ships, all placed along the shoreline near the apex of the coast. You'll also spot one ship away from the group sailing to the north. Before you, on the dock, a man wearing a tri-brimmed hat and a leather chest piece, open, unbound, and a bare-chested. You can see bits of curly chest hair over his abdomen and chest, and brown pants. He's leaning against the railing, and you see him smoking a red wooden pipe. Lets out a plume of smoke. Get out of here, gnome. I don't want to hear another damn song.
Gnome? Good sir, I I don't know how I look like a gnome to you. Clearly I am a halfling, obviously.
He turns over his right shoulder, kind of cocking his eyebrow as he looks over at you. Apologies.
Also, I'm not annoying and I don't rhyme when I talk. Better?
Well, you're still a bit of the same stature, same size. You're definitely not the one that was here before. And he turns back, looking, gazing over the sea.
What was the name of... refresh me. I'm trying to get everything logged in, but who was the captain I was talking... Or the person I was talking to, the owner of the bar?
Sanser.
Sanser. Excuse me, sir, I was looking for a captain that worked for Sanser here. Gonna prod and poke his brain if he had spare time, maybe buy him a pint or two if that was a possibility. Would you know where I'd go to find any of them?
You're looking at him, and as you see him take the red wooden pipe, turn it over, knock out a few of the embers as they fall down, getting caught in the wind, blowing away before dissipating, and then repacking a bit of tobacco.
I was curious if I could prod your brain about things you might have seen on the Celestial Veil. If you had the time, I would greatly appreciate it.
You and everyone else always wants to know what's be going on there.
Honestly, I don't care that much about the going-ons there. Just one thing you might have seen in particular.
Can that be?
I'm looking for boats that seem like they're in odd places. I have and I'm not talking the bottom of a reef or anything like that, but me and some companions of mine had stumbled across one in the middle of a cave that had some. How it got there, it seemed like it had crashed down from something, but it was well inland, middle of a cave. No idea how it got there, and kind of got us thinking and just curious about how it got there. So we were looking into it, and we found another one, and we heard rumor of another one, and word was there was one on the Celestial Veil. And I've been told that it's probably not the best of places to go looking around for curiosity's sake, but nothing else, for the cost of a few pints, I wouldn't mind seeing if there's anything you know or had seen about odd boats or things of that nature, not on dragged up on the shore, but either in caves or inland, that you just thought that was weird there. And anything you could tell me about them.
How much coin you got?
I mean, I got enough to stand a couple rounds with maybe buy a meal.
Takes another bit of a puff on the wooden pipe. Well, where are you staying? Are you at the Maiden?
No, I'm over at the brewery. But
Noted. Well, how about I meet you over there after the sun sets? Waiting to see if... well, soon enough. As he kind of turns, looking back at the ocean. You see him take the tip of the pipe and gesture, pointing to the ship that's sailing off to the north.
all right then. I'll nod and make my way back to maybe peruse down and see if there's anything interesting in shops that catch my eye, or just generally kind of explore the town with whatever is left, whatever light is left before heading home.
As you
Or heading back
begin
to our
to
room.
make your way away, a little bit of lute playing will catch your ear. And you'll see the captain just put his head down, start shaking his head, and shout off just a bit down where you see there to be a few little shacks near where there's some farmlands. "Shut the hell up!" he shouts, yelling over towards that direction.
I'll make my way down that way to the wherever the music is coming from.
So as you make your way closer, you'll note that what you're hearing is a melodic strumming in some words, but the words are not clear. It sounds that they are mumbled, and maybe a combination of a couple of languages. You continue moving closer.
Yeah.
As you move closer, the two languages certainly become one, as you begin hearing a tune over the melodic strumming. "Look into the sky and it's easy to see. 1 and 1 make 2 and 2 and 1 make 3. This is your destiny."
Beautiful.
I love it. Who is singing? Is it the gnome?
As you make your way around, you will see there is a gnome dressed in a green and bluish dark-colored cloak.
Does he have any like a loot case open or anything for coins or anything? Any kind of audience?
No, as you look over, he doesn't seem to be paying any attention to anybody. Just looking out into the field, strumming on the lute, you see that there is a strap goes around the back.
I can't remember if I brought my loot with me or not. I don't think I did. I'll sit down next to the gnome and just start like patting out a beat on my thighs. Just kind of jamming with them because I don't have anything else with me. If I had, I would have brought the loot.
You
to
sit
the,
next to
fight.
me. Is it a challenge that you're looking from me to see? Who can it be?
No challenge, just joining the tune. Just vibing, good sir. Kind of flip my hair a little bit.
Well, if you're looking to stay, then you must play. Strum on the lute, and you'll be here all day.
Does he have an extra one on his back?
He actually hands you his lute, stopping his playing, and hands you this obsidian black pick. You can see that it is very smooth. It is resembling a ram's head as the two horns come down on either side, forming the bottom of this pick for the lute. You see very, very tiny rubies for the ram's eyes.
I'll start strumming on the lute with the pick, just kind of playing a little bit, doing an instrumental thing, and letting him continue to sing.
As soon as you start to play, he will just begin to say, "Challenge accepted. See what you can do. Play the best that you can. If you win, well, that will remain in your hand." At this
What did you say
point,
you cut out there for me?
he challenged you to a rock duel. Can you go ahead and give me a performance check? As you are now caught up in a little bit of a battle.
So high.
Oh lordy.
Guitar Hero.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna be able to go through there, but I rolled it through D&D Beyond.
So a 26. After you strum out a few notes, making your way down, playing a few scales, and playing some harmonics to go with it, you try to strum one more time, but after about 15 seconds, it ceases. No more sound comes from the lute. The pick and lute begin to float up away from you and go back towards the gnome. He begins playing, but it's not as good as yours. You see him get in a bit of a frustration, and you see him stick out his tongue a little bit, biting down and playing a bit harder. And after he strums a few notes, you can see that this is quite a bit better than what he had previously done after your first post. It then floats away from him and makes its way back to you. Can you give me another performance check, please? I can hear you, Nuya.
Okay.
Unfortunately, with a 10, this one not nearly as good as your previous. You see that as you look down towards the head of the lute, there are two red dots, one on the left and one on the right. Can you go ahead and give me another performance check, please?
Better-ish. We'll take it.
This one is good enough, though. And you see another red dot on the left of the lute light up after it goes floating from you to him. He plays once more, and he begins to shake his head back and forth where the cloak comes off. You can see that he has a green mohawk that goes about 2 foot in length. It floats away and comes back to you. One last performance check. Oh,
Oh.
down to the wire as both the red dots, and he goes, "Oh, this is it! If you don't win, your soul will be mine forever." As you hear his voice grow very deep, his eyes glare over in a bit of red color. Give me another performance check, Togo. Don't lose.
Oh God. What did I just sign up for? I'll take that.
And it's enough. As you play the best tune that you had ever imagined in your entire life, you see him play in response. You see him mess up a few notes. You can hear a bit of flat tunes here and there. And then as he lets out a bit of a high-pitched going to a low roar of a no, you see the gnome dissipate in a plume of smoke. The lute disappears as well. However, the pick remains.
I pick up the pick and I look at it, and I look at where the gnome was, and just kind of finger the pick, and that was interesting. And I head back to the brewery that we're staying at.
On your way back to the brewery, can you go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw, please? Perfect. Rolling a natural 1. You will begin
He's
to...
a halfling, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, damn it.
Oh,
Roll again.
Oh!
How dare you
That's
take
a
this
good
away from me?
because you've done it to me.
Ooh.
I
Well,
just
reroll to
I
an
couldn't
18.
remember. I couldn't remember if it affected con saves or not. If it affected.
So you begin to feel these
Let me
like
double
bits
check.
of sweats come down, dripping over like your forehead. But it's like you wipe them away, you feel fine again. Quick, what's the word? Like hot flash dissipates pretty quickly.
That was weird. I need to not drink as much.
I don't see where these rolls are being made. And also,
Oh
I
yeah, on
need to cut
D&D Beyond because he's in the middle of a move, so he's
up.
doing it on his
Okay.
phone. Well, as you make your way back, Togo, you'll see Modar there, Alencia, and Zanashi. Well, actually,
Hey, guys.
Zanashi probably isn't back yet, enjoying her time back at the Maiden and Cauldron.
I think Zanashi paid for the room for the whole night.
Yeah, I don't think she's leaving after what she got. I'll leave
Sorry,
that up
man.
to you, Zanashi.
Wish I could help him, but I can't.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing well, and yourself?
I think I'm doing well.
I think I've had too much to drink tonight.
So you, Togo, never.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I just saw some gnome float into the air, grow a green mohawk, and then disappear. So, you tell me.
You think you saw or you did see?
Well, I mean, it was there, and then it disappeared, and I think it was real, but there was nobody there.
No need to dwell on hallucinations.
Did it leave any evidence of it being there?
No.
Well, then, who knows? It could have been something they slipped into your drink. There's no magic in this area, so who knows?
I don't know.
The gnome knows.
Anyway. True. Wait, what? The gnome knows.
Did we just pick up a leprechaun?
I don't know. Anyways, I'm supposed to.
Can each of you, Alencia and Modar, roll me a perception check? So each of you would note that the sentence "the gnome knows" did in fact actually come from Togo. While it was a different voice, Togo did kind of seem to respond to himself in the same manner.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm supposed to meet the ship captain here that I was told to go see at the bar here in after sunset. So I'm gonna go up to my room for a little bit, and I'll be back down in a couple minutes.
Wait, that you, the gnome knows. Wait, what? You know?
I don't know. The gnome knows what. I thought I heard something, but there's no one around. So
You said
did you guys
that.
hear that? I didn't say that.
Yes, you said that.
I don't think I said that. I think I would remember saying things.
You really need to rest your head.
I'll be back down in a little bit. Modar, you might be interested in this. It's a captain who goes to the Celestial Vale a lot. Apparently, also, that's going to be a no-go for us going there, guys. The ships won't go there because there's a dragon that flies the straits, and it's gotten super dangerous after... Remember that purple light that came out the other day, or a couple weeks back? Apparently, it's been super dangerous to go there since then, so... I guess we can't go there based off what I was hearing. No captain will sail there.
Well, maybe we can find somebody that'll be willing to sail there.
We can talk to the guy that comes here tonight just to see what he thinks of that, but I found a captain who has spent some time on the island and figured we can at least get some information that way, and maybe we can find our way there, but...
Yeah, no, that should be, yeah, go get some rest. We'll definitely meet with him. I do have some more studying I want to do in these books I've got here. I've got, started to put together a story about a group that was looking for these components that make ships fly, so who knows, maybe with this captain and that, we can piece something together.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how much of these stories are based on fact and how much are just fairy tales.
I'd say a little of column A and a bit of column B, but... How much time do I think I have until the captain said he would be this way?
He didn't give you a time frame. He just said he'd meet you there later that night, as he gestured out to the ocean, the ship that was sailing to the north.
Okay. Got it. Then I'll go and lay down for 30, 40 minutes and then maybe pick my loot a little bit, just kind of relax and come back down and get a drink or two and hang out, eat some dinner, take a chill evening till he shows up. As long as nothing else comes in, that's going to be my general plan.
While he's doing that, Alencia will sit down and reflect on the past hour that she doesn't remember. Can someone catch me up, please?
While you reflect on that hour, Modar will inform you. In fact, the only thing that you missed, because started a little bit late, because I figured you may have gotten the times between 8 and 7:30 mixed up, like I normally do.
Something came up, and by something I mean sleep.
But well, you're honest. But with that, so we waited a few moments. The only thing that you really missed was checking in with everybody, a small recap, and then Togo having a small conversation with the captain, and then when you came in on the part where I was singing.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
So what's happening now? Is this like the day before?
This is the same day after the fights earlier at the afternoon.
Okay.
So you stayed behind while I talked to the owner of the tavern, and then went back to the bars, or the brewery is what we assume.
Gotcha.
Well, if no one has anything for while Togo kind of goes and takes like a quick little rest and relaxation time, um, then we can move forward. Togo, while you're playing, are you doing anything with the new pick?
I mean, like, I might see how it feels, just play around with it a little bit. I'm not going to play very loudly, though, and just kind of seeing if I like it.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check, please. On D&D Beyond, I'm seeing a 9.
Yep.
So as you run your hands over it, you can feel that there's, it's quite smooth, minus the little rivets that are there for detail. However, you do spot that there are a few, what appear to be runic inscriptions scattered over it, written very, very, very tiny, but very detailed as well.
I don't recognize any of the runes, do I?
Unfortunately not.
Huh. I may show this to Modor at some point, but I don't know. I think this is... Keep this to myself for a little bit, actually. Cool. I like it.
Well, as you hold on to it a bit and strum the lute ever so slightly, you will also notice that it lets off a bit of a red plume of smoke. Just slightly. It seems to be emitting from the eyes as it moves around your fingers. It feels as if it is becoming easier to play the lute.
Huh. I like this. So it just kind of plays... Music sounds a little bit better when played with it.
Yeah, your fingers aren't getting like tired, like when you're making like these odd stretches that normally kind of wears down your endurance here and there. You are playing things a bit cleaner, and it just seems really smooth.
Huh. All right then. Yeah, I'll just kind of practice with it a little bit. Besides that, not do too much for 30-40 minutes. See if over time I start to get more tired with it, or if it just kind of continues to make me play well, and then head back downstairs after a little bit.
Yeah, Modar is just downstairs in the common area, and he's still going through this book through the whole time. He's gonna just be starting at the beginning of this one and just gonna start reading it through.
Okay, Modar, go ahead and give me an intelligence check, and Togo, give me a performance check. Okay. Togo, you hear sounds coming from within your head.
Now, and who are you?
Wait. Who said that?
Why, you did.
No.
Me, you, I
Us?
did. No,
Me? No, you. I have to admit, I'm starting to think this isn't the drink. Is that correct?
no, it's definitely the drink.
Oh. Okay.
Are you trying to say you don't normally talk with all of your drinks?
I mean, like, I've talked into many a drink, but they don't normally talk back.
Well, that sounds like a strange drink then. One not worth drinking. You should drink more.
I probably should. I'm out of practice, apparently.
Very. Verily.
No.
Modar. With starting at the beginning of the book, as you reread it, things tend to make a bit more sense. Knowing the names after seeing them time and time again as you progressed your way through, you don't find much more information or anything that you feel is worth note. However, you're able to confirm everything that has happened thus far, therefore leading you to the confirmation that the last parts of the ship must be on or in near the Celestial Veil.
All right, thank you. Well, does it say where did they start their journey? They started their journey here at this location. Does it say that?
They started their journey at the Elista Dynasty, which, from the little pictures and things that are in the book, it looks somewhat like the map that you have now. However, there's no towns, there's nothing that is charted, just an island that is not on your map.
All right, so they started on an island that's not on my map.
Yes, I will ping it for you. Down south of that location, if you saw the ping.
I didn't know. Give me a second here.
There we go. Oh. Can you see that
Okay,
arrow?
gotcha. Yeah, so like
Down to the
west
south
of the
of that.
like west of the Celestial Veil.
Southwest of it. Indeed.
Southwest of the Celestial Veil, alright. Just like a random island with no identifiers or anything on it.
Correct. And all that it reads across it is the Elista Dynasty.
Alright, cool.
Well, after a bit of time passing, Togo does return downstairs, and with each of your attention both being focused on Togo as he makes his way back down, so you'll hear the dwarf call out as the doors open. Ah, welcome, Captain. You'd get an order ale for the ship? Not today. Not today. As you all look over, you'll see Togo, the captain that you were talking to earlier, in the tri-brimmed hat and the open buttoned leather vest and brown pants. See him smoking on the pipe as he makes his way over, noticing you making your way over to the table. Well, looks like you've had a rough day.
It's been, I don't know, tired all of a sudden, but still glad you're here. And I'll walk up to the bar and look at the brewer and say, he's on me this evening, good sir.
You'll see him kind of like hoist the pipe up a bit, and then he'll say, "An ale." Give him
And another for me, please.
right away.
And I'll sit down kind of near where Modar's sitting.
These your friends. So he holds out his hand to shake yours, Motor.
Yes, indeed. And I'll reach out to shake his. Modar.
Oh, and then you, my fine lady? He gestures over towards you, Alencia.
Hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and come down from my good times too.
Okay. Well then, just a few moments later, Zanashi, you can make your way over to the brewery.
Well, sir, I understand that you have some information on the Celestial Veil.
At least he's been there some, and for some pints and maybe a spot of dinner, was willing to come and talk to us about it for a while.
Alright, I'll tell you a few stories over a few sips of ale. If that's what you want to hear.
Gladly, and my friend Modar here has been doing some more academically orientated work, so he may have some more pointed questions than I would have. I've been approaching it from a storytelling position, playing in taverns, asking some questions, but
Well, then it doesn't really sound like you want to hear stories. It sounds like you want to know what's there. So then let's
Exactly.
forgo the small chat and you just ask your questions there.
All right, so, and I'll pull out my copy of one of the first ship that we have. We found a ship looking at this, or that was similar to this design, buried underneath the earth inside a cavern that was completely separate from the original mines that it was in. Now, along the sides, we found letters here, which based on what my friend has been looking, has correspondence to and fit up perfectly to some names of some old dynasties that were looking into associations with these ships. Now, you haven't seen anything like that, have you?
He'll shake his head. That's for sure. And then this is when your drinks will arrive to the table. And around this time is when Zanashi arrives as well.
What's going on, Togo?
Oh, we just have a
Valencia.
friend here who has been to the Celestial Veil a couple times and was giving us some information about what is there. I was curious. I was told that it has become much more deadly in the past little bit to head over there. What do we know what's going on there, or is this just a people go and never return sort of thing?
Well, depends on how close you get. He takes a sip out of the tankard.
What
There's
do you
more
mean?
dangers than just what's near the Veil. My resources were saying that there were some pirates heading down the west coast. Confirmed it this evening before making my way back. Captain Croth that sails the Black Flag. He was supposed to be making his way down and around, helping with some endeavors off from the north. But he's fairly an idiot, and well, I don't think he really understands what he's doing, causing havoc on the sea.
I understand. Well, this Captain Croth, you say, is he? He's been a problem in the past? A friend of yours, or just somebody you know of?
A companion. He won't be of an issue if he continues his path down to the south, wrapping around to the Celestial Veil. I'm quite certain his ship will be destroyed.
Destroyed by what?
By the Blue Dragon, of course, that protects those waters. It's not, well, the wisest to sail near there.
Blue Dragon. Do you have any more information about this creature other than the fact that it's a blue dragon?
Well, I've heard it can shoot and breathe lightning from its straight from its mouth, but I've never gotten close enough to want to find out.
I mean, I think that's
Dragon
reasonable.
sounds interesting. I'm in.
I don't know about that one right there. Zanashi, didn't you just have a rough couple rounds with the Minotaur? You're biting to go fight a dragon now? Maybe
It was
rest up a
unfair.
little bit.
They are allowed to use their horns as a weapon, and we
You
can't use
also
that.
used their horn.
Yeah, to be fair, you did rip off the horn and stab.
That is
Like
kind
you
of
also used the
fair.
horn, so yeah.
But had I been able to use my great axe, I would have destroyed him.
That is true.
Well,
No.
you still did either way, Zanashi. Well, let's stay on topic here. This dragon, would you say it's an adult dragon or is it still young?
Dragon schmaggin, I'd rather be ear deep in a flagon.
Ain't that the truth?
Zanashi, at this point, can you roll me a perception check?
Did we hear that one too?
Yes.
And did I notice whether it came out of his mouth or just like came out of him?
No, it came directly out of his mouth. Zanashi, you would have noticed this as well.
That just came out of
Togo's mouth.
Togo's. I mean, but didn't sound like Togo though, right?
Not at all.
I just kind of look at him kind of strange, but I don't say anything.
All right, Togo. We may need to have that dealt with at some point.
What that was?
But yes, the dragon. Would you say adult or young, ancient? Do you have any knowledge or ability to tell these things?
Nothing that I can say that is of truth. The only thing of note that I can bring to the table is that the size is varied from tail to tail. Some, quite certain, have never laid eyes upon the beast. Others may or not. But eyes do play tricks on those who are scared for their lives.
Indeed they do. Indeed they do. Well, so you have not seen this creature for yourself. You have not ventured to the island to.
No
to
desire
verify
to.
any of this information.
Now,
So you have just abandoned your ability to make money on hearsay and.
I just don't think
gossip.
they're going to the Celestial Vale. I mean, I think they're going sailing everywhere else. If I am correct, it's just you don't go to the island.
Are there any captains that are still willing to travel to the Celestial Vale for the right
Well.
price?
Can you row a boat?
Well, I suppose it can't be that difficult now, can
The
it?
strait's not too far. If you make your way down to the docks that we have at the southern tips, getting a canoe, perhaps something a little bit bigger of a vessel, sailing across the strait shouldn't be too difficult. He kind of chuckles as he makes this gesture.
I did have another question. We came across a couple maps that had some islands that we haven't seen on more current maps. They're mostly older maps, and it could just be we've gotten better at making maps in the last little bit, but it had some more westwardly islands from the Celestial Vale, not directly on it. Have you seen or heard of any more islands out there that wouldn't be charted on this map? And I'll pull out our map and kind of point with my finger into the area where Modar was looking at earlier.
Everything that's charted here is what I've seen. Of course, there's more beyond the horizons. But
More in
man, The
More in
sea
what
is
way?
dangerous. And many sail across the vast oceans for weeks, months at a time.
Is there any place in town that might sell maps of these other locations?
He'll shake his head. Not that I know of.
You wouldn't happen to have maps like this on your vessel that we could look at for a price, would you? Of course, not take ourselves. We would never do such a thing. But
Look, what you have here on your map is what I have on mine. There's nothing that's any information that you'll learn.
It's cut out big time, man.
Oh, sorry. Look, what you see on your map is what I have on mine. You will not learn any new information from taking a look.
fair enough. And what do you know of the Elysium dynasty?
A tale, a tall tale.
I like tall tales. They boost me up.
You feel there's no truth to any of these tales?
He'll shake his head. Not in the slightest. Ones that you tell the little ones to rest their heads. Plenty of folks around here that do, though.
Yes, I completely understand that. Well, I find that there's always some truth. Like I said, I have started to connect the names, and I will pull out the Elysium Dynasty Volume 1, the names in this book to some of the names that we've seen on these ships that we've found. So there may be a little more truth than child's tales.
Children's stories start with something. I mean, that's kind of the whole point we've been looking at since we started finding these, and that's kind of what led us to these at first. We kind of didn't think that it would be anything like that, and eventually it was just screaming us in the face. We had to say, all right, let's look at the fantasies and see what's there.
In your travels to the Celestial Vale, did you ever find any caves or rockside camps along any of the shorelines?
No. I haven't, but it wouldn't get close enough. We have taken a few people there. Get them fairly close, let them take one of the lifeboats over. But nothing terribly close to lay my eyes for too long.
So you've never stepped foot on the Vale?
Nah. Not a fool.
So before these lights came out, why were you not going there? What kept you from stepping foot on the Vale, on the Celestial Vale before all this?
Dangerous creatures lurk there. Ones that don't, well, transverse the lands here, but perhaps they had in times past. A thing that I wouldn't want to come face to face with. These things that could eat any of us in one bite. Even your friend right here, as he gestures towards Anashi.
Bullshit. I knew where he was going.
Quite easy to eat me in one bite. That's not very exciting, but her, that's pretty good.
And
Never eat me.
maybe not in one bite. I'm sure that Camp of Goblins would have done a good job on Yuzanashi if given the chance.
Well,
Anyhow.
I would have to say there, Modar was, right?
Yes.
If it may find it of some inclination, you should visit the shrine. I heard it gives a bit of a tale.
Which shrine is this?
The one of Nula and Ramir. It's the cauldron lamp and enshrines the flame of Nula. It's down near the docks. Not the ones by the cliff, but the actual docks.
The shrine of Nula and Ramir, you say?
Aye.
Down by the docks, not the cliff. So, you mean the docks to the south? Yes. Alright. I will definitely... You say there are tails down there.
Aye. We have one here, but the one that's connected, or so they say, tells a story. Something along the lines of old creature risking their life with a sword or something of the sort.
Oh, that could be helpful. So before this dragon before the light, this dragon did not venture off the island. It was probably there the whole time, but now it's venturing. Does it come to the shoreline at all, or stay around the Celestial Vale, attacking ships that enter the area?
Mainly off to the east. Maybe its lair. Maybe it has some young in the area.
To the east of the island. All right.
Aye. Little one. More ale.
Well, of course. No. Tap the bar. Another round, good sir.
Aaron pop up. Little one, you ain't talking to me, are you? No, I meant my good friend right here, as he kind of gives you a little pat on the head. And then this is when Dwarf will make his way over and then bring over another round of ale. Set down a few extra tankards. And look at you, Togo, and say, all right, I'll be opening a tab for you. I know this one can put quite a few away.
I'll just slide 2 gold over towards them right now. Say.
No, that should cover it.
And to keep it coming.
This is when both the dwarf and the captain will be looking at you, Togo. Kind of eyebrow cocked.
Yeah, what he said. Keep him coming.
Does your friend normally do this?
No, this is new. You wouldn't happen to have an exorcist in town, would you?
Exorcist for what?
Oh, nothing, Togo.
Has he always had this loud inland empire going on?
Togo, can you roll me another con save, please?
Yes, I can.
Well, you get the cold sweats again, like this little bit of like a hot flash. You have the urge to play music. The music that's playing here, one's playing a bit of like a slow rhythmic pattern. It's just irritating you.
Look over. Who's actually playing?
You just see a couple of humans, both female, one playing a lute and one strumming on a harp.
I look at our the brewer and say, "Do you mind if I join them? I want to liven this place up a little bit. I'm just itching to play some music for some
Being
reason."
my guest.
I'll grab my lute and walk up and say, "You said it was 2 women?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, ladies. Would you mind having one more?"
Yes, I just play along to the tune.
All right, and they're doing something nice and slow and melodic.
It's not even like melodic. It's just like a slow rhythmic pattern.
I'll start.
Music makes me sleepy. Togo, you need to play something.
I'll start kind of playing along, and then I'll kind of go from where I'm playing, just like along with it, and I'll start slow. Or I'm trying to say slow, but I'm speeding up the tempo just a little bit, adding in more notes with the same melodic or slow tempo, adding just more notes into it physically, so it seems like it's going faster.
Okay.
Just to give my fingers
Go
something
ahead and give
to
me
do.
a performance check. So as like you're playing, like you start to like pick up the pace, and you notice that the 2 females are looking at you like, with like this odd look, kind of questioning exactly like what you're doing as you pick up the pace of the tune. You'll notice also that this reddish smoke begins to come over your fingers a bit more, except for this time stretching a bit farther and farther up your arm, nearly reaching your elbow before you begin to like panic and like shake it off. You stop playing pretty abruptly, and it just does not sound as great as it normally does. At this point, can you give me a con save at disadvantage?
That control or shit?
Control, I believe.
That may only be. That only rolled 1. So the 18, I guess.
You get the cold sweats yet again, but no urge to play this time.
I don't understand. You don't want to dance with you?
I mean, yeah. Don't you guys want to play something a little faster and play like get everyone going? I mean, seems like it would be a good time. Just up the pace, up the music. Let's play something fast.
Yeah, let's make it lively.
Yeah. What's up?
What in the world are you talking to yourself for, Togo?
What are you talking about talking to myself?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What in the fuck is going on here?
That definitely sounds like a second voice at this point.
Does Togo's lips move whenever that other one talks?
Yes, indeed they do. At this point, the captain will look over towards you, Modar, and say, "Well, if there's nothing else, I do believe I've seen my fill for this evening."
It seems that you've answered all the questions we have at the moment, but would you mind, Captain, if we did call on you at some point in the future if we did have further questions? And if you do hear anything about anybody heading to the Celestial Vale or any information about that, we would appreciate it if you could get word to us, and I will palm him 5 gold pieces.
Well, I leave down towards the docks after the brawl. And if Sanser permits it, well, then it will be done. But it's not me you need to convince, even if I don't want to go there. If the boss says to go, then I go.
But I thought you were captain. I thought you were the captain of the ship. You don't choose where you go?
As captain, I don't own the ship.
Well, and I suppose we were asking the wrong questions all along. Who does own the ship you...
That was
Sansa.
Sanser there, Modar.
What's that?
Sanser, the one I was drinking a couple drinks with, who suggested I talk to this fine gentleman for someone who had been near the island, who might know more, but she was the one that said that none of her ships were going towards the island.
Okay, I understand. All right, sorry, I thought that I misunderstand that. Well, Captain. With that said, we would. I would appreciate it if you would send anyone with information about the island, or that if you come across anybody that has been to the island, let them know that there is gold if they have legitimate new information for us. And I'll still hand them. I'm going to hand them the 5 gold.
Captain, just as a throwing around number, if you had an idea, how much would it cost to physically buy your ship?
Well, if Sansa was willing to part, I'm sure it would be a few thousand gold to say the least. I can imagine her selling it for maybe into the tens of thousands.
Okay then. Well, thank you. Just musing with the idea.
So thank you very much.
According to the book, it's 10,000 gold pieces.
Got it. That's doable.
Valencia. Valencia.
Yes?
Should you be getting some rest for your fight? Like, just total rest. You need to recover.
I mean, that is correct, but I've hardly exerted myself today, to be honest.
And she has 2 days until her fight, so...
Trying to flex on me.
Not at all.
No, you're doing a good job.
I don't think anyone can flex on you here, Zanashi. You stabbed someone with their own horn.
The opponent I fought was very dim-witted. Your fight was a lot more fun to watch personally.
Yeah, not many rip off a Minotaur's horn and stab him in the face with it. That was pretty intense.
What he said.
Thank you.
But yeah, I feel confident about this next fight, so you don't need to be concerned.
Well, each of you know, with Zanashi stepping out, of course, Valencia has tomorrow as a bye, essentially. But the champion versus the orc from Zanashi's old tribe is their match is tomorrow. Now, of course, you guys can go see it if you want, but, you know, the choice is yours.
I don't see I would want to do that.
Are you guys gonna go? Zanashi, Modar?
Of course.
I may go to check it out and see what's going on, but I think I'm gonna at first tomorrow head down to this temple and see what I can find there.
Now, just so you know, this is over a day away. It will take you quite a bit of time to get there. Unless you wanted to ride your mount.
Oh, I'm sorry. That I do have one. Yeah, I still do have one mount, right?
The only surviving mount, yes.
Rest in peace, Bill Lorenzo.
And it's so how far? Okay. Is this all one big city, or is that it's 2 separate cities?
No. So this is it's still the same city. However, it is just built a bit down past the tribelands, bit more area for farmlands and then for the dock. not being set on the cliffside.
Yeah, it's kind of like a suburbs type of area, or like an
Indeed.
industrial area set away. Gotcha. But it is like a distance. It's like a half. It's like a day travel to it.
Bareback.
Yep, roughly.
All right. Well then, in that case, I may wait until after the fight to check that out. I'll go through these books and see if I can find anything else out. I believe I may have some other information to go through.
I'll probably head to bed the rest of that evening and then rest up and maybe just kind of mosey around town, see if anything catches my eye that's particularly interesting.
Well, at this point, I mean, it's getting fairly like into like the evening hours. With it being just an hour away from sunset, there's a bit more miscellaneous things that you guys can easily take care of. Being at the Belly Hot Brewery, you are right next into the market area, so if there's anything you wish to do with that, of course you can quite quickly. However, if not, we can just rest for the evening. Each of you already have your rooms, and we can move on to the next day.
I think I'll probably just head to bed for the evening. I don't think there's anything I need, per se.
There ain't nothing Zanasha needs. She's still roughed up a little bit.
Yeah, no, Modar's definitely just resting.
Alrighty. Well, then with that note, is if each of you get your rest, it will move you to the morning of May the 2nd. So, of course, if needed, please do roll your hit dice after your completion of a short rest. And when you wake up, Togo, I will need another con save from you.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Yeah, that's better. Still ain't great.
there it is. The 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So at this point, Togo, you begin to get a splitting headache. The voice begins creeping into your mind and out of your mouth more and more.
Oh. Guys, I think I'm a bit hungover from last night. Did I drink a lot?
Togo, when you try to say that, you'll notice that the words don't escape your mouth. You only hear them in your own mind.
So, how's everyone doing this morning?
Why's your voice changed, Togo?
Doing quite well, actually.
Yes,
I
Togo,
think I ate something that didn't quite agree with me. Frankly, my throat hurts quite a bit.
I'm concerned
Togo.
about your drinking habits. You really need to stop.
Togo, what did I do back at the tower?
What you needed to.
Obviously, you tried to kill us, Zanashi.
Again, Togo, trying to say this, but it only being in your mind.
Wait, what?
What's the
So-
point of that question, Sanashi?
Something seems off about Togo. That's not Togo's voice. That's not how Togo acts.
What does he act like?
I think
yeah,
a demon's possessed him.
I want to look at him.
Whoa. No, that's not. jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
Are his mannerisms still the same, or is his like complete mannerisms and everything his whole attitude, has it changed, or does it just sound different?
Well, he does sound completely different. But I mean, there's been, I feel like, no actions taken that would necessarily indicate I guess like a difference in that manner.
Well, I mean, like I suspect like when Togo walks into a room, he typically is the life of the party. He has a certain swagger about him as he enters a room and as he interacts with people.
Go ahead and give me an
kind of
insight
stuff.
check.
I'm just kind of checking to see whether if it still seems to be Togo in that manner.
I guess I'll roll inside just to see if I'm picking up
Okay.
this
It's.
crap anyway.
I just figured like, I mean, his voice still sounds the same whether or not it's him or Cinnabon talking, right?
No, it sounds different.
No,
How
No,
different is it?
Completely.
Just like you hear him.
Yeah. just
Like
you
two
hear.
different people? Okay.
like it's a different person talking. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I didn't want to assume. I thought like
It's fair.
Zanashi was just being paranoid character.
So, if you want to roll an insight check there for with that info as well, Valencia, feel free. I mean, each of you feel that there is definitely a little bit of a difference. He didn't really pop into the room, bringing that brightness to the area as he normally does. And I think the most thing that each of you would find a bit odd is there was no signal for a drink first thing in the morning, right away.
Okay, maybe you're right. This isn't. Maybe I can do something. Come here. And she'll put her hands on Togo's temple and use her hands of healing for today. Try to like cure a hangover, sort of.
Well, as you do that, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any change.
I told you, it's not a hangover. It's my throat. It hurts.
Well, that should be healed then, right?
I mean, you tell me.
I did my best to heal anything that may have been aching you. How do you feel now?
A little better? It feels the same.
Sing us a song, Togo.
Very well.
Togo, give me a performance check at advantage, please.
Alright.
Please roll a nat 2.
I would like to sing a song. Near, near on an island shrine, inside a cavern and through the brine, walk to the statue with shivering core, speak the words and find much more.
I grab Togo in a bear hug and just give him a big hug. It is you, Togo. I'm sorry I ever doubted you.
Togo, can you roll me a, oh, never mind. Scratch that.
What am I feeling right now?
Like, you're basically looking through, like, the end of, like, a tunnel. You can see everything, but it just seems very far away. Like, when you shout any words, say anything, you hear a bit of an echo. It just feels like you're falling, but never moving anywhere at the same time. Just suspended in an abyss.
Got it.
So Togo, when you were in that gnome you ran into yesterday, there was no trace of him whatsoever left behind.
None but the cloud of smoke that he poofed into. Well, he did have a certain sound to him.
A certain sound, and what would you consider that to be?
His voice, it echoed like he was in a hallway. And even after he left, I felt like I could still hear him. Like he was getting farther away.
That.
Even though he was standing right there.
Does any of this trigger anything that any creatures or any folklore that I may recall from anything I've read?
Any stories I may have read as well.
Togo, can you roll me a D100, please? Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part because I was double checking something.
I was saying what he just said about the echoing and like what he hears or what he remembers about the gnome he saw the day before, whether I recognize any of that from any literature, or any research, or any books I've read, or any stories I've heard.
Okay, can you roll me an insight check? And Togo, roll a deception.
Sorry, guys. I'm proficient in deception.
Unfortunately, you feel like what he's telling you to be the truth. Sorry.
Damn.
He got a
+8 to
26.
deception.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, but I know that you can see it, but I'm just repeating it for those who cannot at the moment.
Oh, gotcha.
But that is just very unlucky because that's a damn good roll from here. And but you don't pick up any signs that there is any lie, but you don't recognize this from any book. Perhaps you know something that you haven't read.
All right. Well, Togo, well, we will circle back to this at some point. There's definitely something off here.
We'll have a doctor
wish-
look at you.
Well, when we're a little more private and away from things, I might be able to figure something out, but I can't do that here. Not with the rules that are in place at the moment. Right, like my
Well, all right,
understanding.
but I think you're overreacting. It's just a sore throat. A throat infection. Seems a tad overhauled, if you ask me.
We're just
If
being
Valencia can't
cautious.
heal it, it's not just a throat problem.
I thought it was. I thought it would have been healed. I didn't. I mean, I thought it was thorough.
Valencia, you are thorough. If there's one thing you are, it's not incompetent.
Yes, there's no one more thorough than you, Valencia.
Well, thanks. I'm just more concerned about you at the moment. But if you say you're fine, then I trust you. But again, we'll have to come back to this.
Well, Valencia, what you need to focus on is your opponent. Get as much rest and make sure that you're ready for this fight tomorrow.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that right now.
By the way, Alencia, I'm not sure if you were still stepped away, but after completing the short rest, moving on to the next morning, if you need to roll any hit dice, feel free.
Oh, I was untouched. I'm fine.
Now she's definitely flexing on you, Zanashi. Well, each of you are aware that the next and only round for the day for the brawl is going to be held at noon, of course, at the Madron and the Cauldron Tavern. So, if there's anything that you'd like to get taken care of during the day, feel free. If not, then we can move on.
Yes, no, I'm just gonna take the notes that we took on the ships and everything I've gotten and just compare. I'm just gonna spend the majority of the day while I'm waiting for this, comparing the ship notes and everything and just trying to piece anything together, see if I missed anything, see if anything seems to be off with the Celestial Veil, try to reference the Celestial Veil to anything else going on in any of these books.
Okay. Having a bit of time, go ahead and give me the intelligence check. Anybody else have anything?
You know, not everything will be stored in tiny little books. There's of course always other ways that knowledge passes around.
Indeed it is, but the books are all I have at the moment. If you can find anybody else that might have viable information, I would love to talk to them.
Well, unless we can find that gnome, that little red creep, then I don't think there's anyone else to talk to.
Wait, what gnome are you talking about?
The one that was down the tunnel with the echoing voice.
Oh yes, that the one that you weren't sure if it was real or not. The figment of your imagination.
The very one.
Well, if you find him, let me know. I would definitely love to talk to him.
Thinking of him makes me want to sing. Not quite. The song isn't quite written yet, but I'm working on it.
I'm sure you'll have it down in no time, Togo.
Down in note time?
See, you're already working hard.
Or hardly working.
Seems to be one and the same for you, but we shall see.
Potato, potato.
Well, let me get back to it here. Are you going to follow Alencia and Zanashi, keep them out of trouble today?
Or keep them in trouble. Yes, I'd be happy to.
I think Zanashi keeps yourself in trouble enough.
That's for sure.
I wasn't sure about his condition until he said potato, potato. That was a very odd thing to say.
That's what made you worried.
I think, out of character, I feel like that's very much something I would say.
I mean,
Nah.
a halfling talking about potatoes is weird. What?
I'm
We're like
saying
the Irish
so
of
nice.
D&D.
But I thought that was those were the dwarves.
Probably both, honestly.
God.
as you all, tend to your miscellaneous tasks through the day, just exploring a bit, Modar, reading your book, unfortunately not finding any new clues, just more confirming suspicions and, well, hypothesis that you've developed over the time. However, the main thing being on your mind, which seems to be kind of tearing away your thought from the book, is the shrine that the captain had indicated, just over a day away of walk, but perhaps a bit closer for on horseback. However, as the time passes, each of you would note that it is getting near noon and will all reconvene back at the Maiden and the Cauldron.
All right. Yeah, definitely go get a seat where I can see everything that's going on. And then do the same thing. I want to keep an eye out for anybody in the crowd that might be manipulating or doing anything to change anything going on in the match.
Just intently watching the ring.
Well, as each of you make your way into the Matron and Cauldron, you'll notice that there's quite a bit of individuals here. The same, if not more, patrons gathered around in anticipation to see the one single match. But that one, of course, containing the champion. And as a few moments go by, then you will then see Sanser make her way into the center of the ring. Standing very short, but with her voice seeming very tall, begins to shout out, "Well, well, we've only been here for a few moments, but we're going to get this match started very soon. Now, champion and the challenger, please make your way into the ring as we begin to collect the bets." And Sansa will begin making her way around and collecting bets. So if anyone would like to place a bet, feel free to do so. Of course, we'll just do the same thing where if you wish to keep it a secret, you can, but you can say it but as well. But please do PM me what you are betting. Oh, and on who, of course. Sanashi, Modar, Togo, any bets?
I'm good.
None this time.
You can place that bet on for that tomorrow if you wish, but today it is between the orc and the champion.
I'm going to refrain from betting.
got it. All right. Well, on that note, after the bets are collected, you'll hear Sanser pipe up. Well, that's be it then. And what the single and only match for the day? Begin! And as she pulls her hand down in like a slight thrusting formation, clenching her hand into a closed fist as she comes down to her side, then the two begin to go at it. The orc begins to rage, the muscles bulging as he runs over. He takes a swing, but as each of you note that it isn't a full attack, it's actually a feint, as he then begins to slide as you see the centaur raise its legs in anticipation for a punch. Then sliding on the ground, the orc will then kick right into the hind leg. Each of you hear a snap as the centaur gives out a bit of a painful cry. The patrons in the crowd begin to ooh in a bit of a pain as the leg becomes a bit wobbly. The centaur then reaches down, pins the orc to the ground by his neck, and then lets out a few flurry of stomps. One missing, just going slightly to the side of the head, the other connecting right to the chest, and then a third right into the jaw. You see one of his lower fangs become a bit broken as it pops away, falling into the sand. Blood begins to pour from his jaw. You can see the centaur get a bit wobbly-legged, no pun intended, as the orc continues to kick onto the left hind leg, the knee area giving out more and more as more pops begin to ring out. Then the centaur will pull up in almost a full vertical stance before slamming both of the hooves down onto the face of this orc. The orc, being a bit bloodied at this point, does not seem to be quite defeated, rolling away, then standing and pointing over towards the table where each of you sit. This for your friend, he shouts as he points over towards your area, Zanashi. He runs, jumps on the back of the centaur, and begins to attempt to suffocate her, placing his arms around his neck and choking. The centaur tries to grab, pull, and throw the orc off, but unsuccessfully in doing so. The arms not able to get a good angle, the hands not able to get a good grasp in order to remove the orc from the back. The centaur will begin turning a bit different colors in the face. You can see that it is not going well. Then the centaur jumps to the back, landing right on its rear and then down onto its human back, slamming the orc into the sand. Orc lets out a bit of a gasp. Then the centaur, standing, turns, begins to stomp the orc once more, landing a few hits. At this point, the orc, looking a bit rough, will, with a last-ditch effort, reach out for the wounded leg once more. Kicks, this time the leg giving completely out, as the centaur weans and falls down to her rear. Then, right as the orc attempts to punch, the centaur blocks, thrusts back, and punches, not into the chest, or not just connecting to the chest, but going into the chest. You see the wound deep. The centaur begins to pull the fist out of the chest as the orc begins to bleed from his mouth. Then the centaur throws the orc to the ground.
Well, that was an impressive fight there. Oh my god.
Can I make an insight check to discern any useful battle tactics?
A regular slobber knocker.
Yes, please do. With you having more of like a lively combat where it is always life and death for you. Please do roll that at advantage. Stay away from the hooves.
Cool.
Seems that the upper body is not nearly as strong as the horse body, and when attempting to remove with the humanoid arms, I guess is a good point to put a good way to say it. It seemed that there was a bit of an issue, and then resorting to a more dire tactic. But with this, you'll see a few of the barmaids make their way down to the arena and begin to drag the orc away. The crowd grows a bit silent at first before letting out a bit of a cheer. While this orc may have perished in the arena, was an intense battle indeed.
How are the other orcs in his tribe reacting to this?
They do not seem happy, to say the least. But they, excuse me, they don't seem to be acting upon their emotions at all. I mean, there are not only a few more centaurs here, but the champion as well that just punched a cavity into this one's chest.
So they seem to be struck with them. They don't seem to be eyeing Zanashi or angry at her right now.
Mm-mm. They seem to be focused on exactly what had just happened.
All right, fair enough. That's what I was trying to figure out. Well, Zanashi, you said that you used to know that tribe, huh?
Yes.
Did they all fight like that?
Pretty much. I mean, slightly different because everybody's got a different personality, but for the most part, yes.
Fair enough. Well, suppose we don't want to run into too many of them at once. He definitely seemed to put up the best fight so far against the champion.
Agreed.
Well, Zanashi, if you end up fighting a centaur, here's my suggestion. You run up, jump on his back, and then choke him out from behind. Tried and true. Always works. I think I heard it in a song once.
Indeed, that could be. Well, you sure you didn't write that song?
Could have. I've been drinking a lot lately.
A little less here lately.
Valencia will wait until the champion is out of the ring. And she'll intercept him on his way back to his seat.
Okay. Making his way out, you'll see the champion limping quite a bit. That rear left leg seems to be quite wounded.
I believe that's broken, sir.
Nothing. Be fine.
Will it be fine tomorrow?
Enough to stomp you.
Well, in that shape, I don't think so. We don't want any handicaps in the next fight, so I have to make sure. And she puts her hands on him.
What you doing?
If we want to put on a good show tomorrow, then we both need to be in perfect shape. You agree, don't you?
And it begins like backing away from you a bit. At this point, can you give me a perception check? You note there's quite a few people staring at you, Alencia. Mouths
She's
agape.
ignoring. Yeah, basically ignoring the glares.
You're supposed to fight him, not help him.
Why not both?
I agree with Togo.
At this point, quite a few of the humans will begin to depart from the tavern.
Leave old Hoofhead to his own.
We don't want to say that the fight is illegitimate for having a broken limb, like say if I broke an arm, for an instance.
He wouldn't have had any issue doing it to you.
Well, I
That's, you
prefer
might have
all limbs.
forgotten, but Ixnay on the Kajik May.
What the fuck?
I did no such thing. I merely put my hands on him.
Valencia, be more careful.
I understand.
I know you don't think of it as that it's, but many people will.
Nobody else is going to do it for him.
Oh yes, but I'm sure he has his own healer. He's looking better than he was for his fight yesterday.
Rest will do that, but not for a broken leg.
At this point, you'll note that quite a few of the patrons do not seem to be making much eye contact with your table. A lot of them seeming to try to keep their distance.
Well, all the more breathing room for us.
Is there other entertainment going on in here?
Not at the moment.
Just in case my healing hands actually went off, I'm gonna roll it.
Okay, thank you.
If it's all right, I would like to try and liven the place up a little bit. Play a sweet song that I wrote.
Okay, Togo, can you give me a performance check at advantage, please? And then if you actually have a song there, Togo, quotation marks, go ahead.
All right. With red eyes deep and soul is dark, its demeanor craven and quite stark. Short in stature, the little creep. Now he holds your soul to keep. And I want it to be just like a very fast-paced kind of deep riffs, at least as deep as I can riff on a lute.
Metallica.
I'm not sure if I have enough strings to. I'm not sure if I have enough strings to go that deep, but
Togo,
I'm gonna try.
Togo, you didn't change your proficiencies on that yet, did you?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Can you roll me a D100 and a D8, please?
Metallica, love it.
And then can you just roll me a flat D20? Man, that would have been epic. So, as Toga, you play this song, you will see a few of the barmaids, while dancing, quite like erotically, begin to strip down just a bit. You will see them throw some plain cotton bloomers in your direction as they land at the table as you strum your lute. Then, after you stop playing, them seem to snap, almost like they were possessed.
I would like to
Not
blow
the
one
first
of them
time
a
I've
kiss.
I'm
had
sorry,
this.
Togo. I also need 2D 50s.
I would like to blow one of them a kiss.
30 coin, gold coin come your way as well.
Not the first time I've had that effect on ladies.
And then I sent you a PM just so you know.
After seeing several of Togo's performances over the last few weeks or months, however long it's been at this point, does this seem different and or odd from other performances that he's done?
Yes, roll me an insight check if you feel like it's needed. I was gonna say Modar and Alencia, but Zanashi and Alencia, if you want to roll one as well, feel free.
Nope. I believe him.
Both of you just feel that this was one of the best performances Togo has put on. His skills just seem to be growing more and more as a musician.
But as
Well,
far as like the style and everything, it still seems like his style.
Definitely a bit more aggressive, and especially like the speed.
Well, I'm relieved that your bodic talent isn't going anywhere.
Well, Togo, what would the old troops say about this performance?
I think they would say it's pretty badass. Plus, who's going to disagree with 30 gold coins? And I'll jingle the sack.
Fair enough.
That's a lot of liquor.
I'm sure you'll find someone to drink it.
Yeah, he has two thumbs and plays a sick ass lute. And I'm gonna point at myself with both my thumbs.
Togo, please make sure that you add 30 gold coin to your inventory.
Yes.
Well, I would recommend holding off on the drinking until we come back to this.
Absolute nonsense. I announce a drinking contest.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm sorry, Togo, I need one more con save. This one at disadvantage as well.
Sick.
And at this point, can I get a perception check from Modar, Alencia, and Zanashi? The three of you note that Togo's eyes, the color, dissipates. And when it fades, just leaving the black pupil for a brief second, then the iris coming back, but this time red in color.
Do you think we should step outside with everyone for a second?
I think that would be very good. Zanashi, grab him now. Let's move.
I grab him and put him in a bear hug.
Aw, Sanashi, I knew you cared.
We all care for each other very much. And
You're right, but only Zanashi's hugging me. What about the rest of you?
we'll have our turn later.
Ooh. You know, you shouldn't threaten me with a good time, Alencia.
I throw him over my shoulder so I can get his mouth away from my head. And then to keep him in place, I just place one of my hands on his ass cheek as I tote him outside.
Let's say the road over here looks good.
And yeah, once we get outside, I'm looking for a dark alley, something somewhere where if we do something, nobody's gonna see.
Okay. So, each of you make your way out. The sounds of the tavern diminish, and just the people walking about. It is still near midday. Um, you will note that as you make your way out, people seem to just clear out of your way. Each of you hear a few whispers. Did you see that? As you make your way out.
They can see what?
And once we get out, I'm going to use message to whisper to Togo. Togo, can you hear me? And I want to see what voice responds. Do you want me to link message or?
Yes, please.
I speak now and then I go silent. I look back at Modar and say,
So,
identify.
as Togo says these words, the irises change back to his normal color. You see Togo's demeanor kind of change just a bit, and the voice becomes that what it was just the previous day.
I grab the front of Modar's shirt and I look at him and say, use identify. I need you to use identify on it.
On what?
I need you to use identify on it. And I'll start digging through like my clothes and in my jacket looking for something, but
And then as he does, you see him almost become like stricken with paralyzation as he's still being a bit bear hugged from Zanashi. The eyes close, and then as they open again, the red color comes back.
Use it on this and produce the loot.
All right. Do I believe that that's true?
I've been watching Togo's face.
You mean
and
insight?
Well, that's okay. That's. Do you want me to roll an insight on this? Like, this is the same loot he's always had, right? Like, he's had this. This isn't a new loot. This is the one that he's had the entire time that I've seen him, from the best of my knowledge.
Indeed.
All right. Okay, my question: do you want me to make an insight check to be smart
Yes.
enough to figure out?
You can give me this one at advantage, and Togo, roll me a deception, please.
Give me a second here. It's not letting me roll advantage.
It's a bad thing that Toko's really good at lying.
We do clearly see this as erratic behavior, right?
I would say, I mean, you guys can definitely tell, like, something's got to be off with, especially the change of the voice tone. But, Modar, you feel from that, like, what Togo was trying to get you to identify is indeed the loot.
His eyes don't look right. He doesn't sound the same now that I hear both voices. I'm not sure. We should.
It's like you folks can't take a joke. I mean, not that I don't mind being bear hugged. I mean, it feels nice and all, but
All right.
Do you-
I don't know what has you all so strange.
I want to look for. Is there? I'm looking for a building or something that we might be able to get into that looks abandoned. I don't care if it's a barn, if it's a shed, something that we can get into that we can close the door and keep people out of.
Yeah, you easily can find that, especially around here. Making your way over to like the outskirts of the city, uh, using that term a little bit loosely, of course, since there seems to be a little bit more down to the south. But towards like the farmland area, uh, you can find a nice little barn that seems to be in a bit of disarray, giving you the indication that it is indeed abandoned.
All right. I am going to close the doors to the barn. All right, Zanashi, Togo, I'm sorry, but we need to tie you up. Zanashi, Alencia, tie him up.
Ooh.
So,
I didn't know our friendship had
Togo, do you
progressed to
allow
this
this?
level.
What? No.
Okay. So, at this point, I've sent you a PM, but can you give me a dexterity saving throw at the moment? And Modar, can you give me a survival check?
I didn't want to tie him up. I was not. I was asking, Alencia and Zanashi. Yeah, Zanashi
Okay.
to tie him up.
Well, then with you giving a bit of mention, Togo begins to like wiggle. Zanashi, can you give me an athletics check to try to keep Togo in your grasp?
Well,
Togo wiggles out, lands down on the ground, and then begins to scamper away.
Can I try to trip him?
Can I do that again, what I did earlier? Or is that a limited number of times?
That's just once.
That's what I figured.
All right. All right, screw. I'm doing it. All right. I'm gonna cast Hold Person.
So Togo, as you make your way, Zanashi, or not Zanashi, but Alencia will try to trip you. Give me opposed athletics checks. You put out a leg sweep, Alencia. Togo just hops right over, woohoo, and then continues on, grabs the door, and then Modar, you cast Hold Person. Togo, give me a wisdom saving throw. Modar, what does this look like?
I just pull my staff out and kind of point it at him and start mumbling some words under my breath and moving my hand to try and just look at him and say, "Stop."
And as he does, Togo's hand reaches like the lever to get out, and then he just freezes, rolling a 6 on the wisdom save.
Quick, check his belongings. Something's making him not himself. I'm not sure.
Tie him up.
Right, yeah, of course.
So go ahead and whoever is tying him up, go ahead and give me a survival check at advantage. That seems pretty tight. And then if you wish to go through his belongings, I will need an investigation check. If anyone wishes to assist with the
right.
proficiency, of course you can add advantage.
I am going to start by ritually casting Identify on the flute like he asked me to.
Am I still free to talk?
Yes, indeed.
Stay away from that.
Stay away from what?
Valencia, as you make your way through Togo's pockets, you do find this thing that feels like a smooth stone. As you pull it out, you will find this black obsidian pick, carved to resemble a ram's head.
Has he always had this?
Can't say I've ever seen that before. Toss it on the ground over there.
You should identify this then.
Each of you noting Togo's eyes not peeling away from the loot. He
Yeah, no,
tossed the
I
pick
would-
on the ground.
I was casting Identify on the loot to start with.
Yep. After ritually casting Identify, and of course after Alencia goes through Togo's pockets quite thoroughly, in that 10-minute, 11-minute time frame, Identified, it tells you that it's a stringed instrument.
All right. Next, I am ritually casting Detect Magic. I understand this takes lots of time. Zanashi, keep an eye. I want to make sure nobody comes in to this barn.
Gotcha.
Togo, can you roll me another wisdom save?
That I can. $13.
Okay, I do believe that's still a fail.
I get the 16 for Modar.
What's that?
Your spell save DC is a 16, right?
For the
Hold person?
Yes. Yep. Yes. 16 for the hold person.
If we don't figure out what's wrong with him, we may need to use unconventional therapy.
Well, I think hold person is probably. I don't think it lasts that long, anyways. I'm pretty sure hold person is off. You're just tied up at this point because it took me 10 minutes to cast Identify.
Oh, it's up to
Mm-hmm.
up to 1 minute.
I just wanted to make one more check just to see during that time frame, but he was good. Or, I guess not good, but it's still a fail.
So while they're ritual casting Identify, what is that situation like? Like, is everyone just kind of standing there, or?
I'm just looking at Togo with pity.
I say no. Modar is definitely focused on whatever he was identifying, and then once switching to the detect magic, he's just kind of over. He kind of pulls his book out and starts mumbling to himself and going about his casting of detect magic.
To answer your question, yes, you can. Togo, give me a performance check at advantage. Oh, wait, no, you're held, so this will just be a normal. Or you're tied up, I should say.
What's up with me rolling 2s on these performance checks today?
Unfortunately, I don't know if you have a song for this, but can I get each of you to roll me a con save? So Nashi, Alencia, and Modar.
I begin singing a song so wildly annoying that it actually hurts your ears a little bit just to listen to it. Here, here, a fancy lady. Is it me or is she crazy? And just an annoying cadence that just is very off.
Well, each of you do feel
I'm
it
gonna
piercing your
smack
ears.
the shit out of him.
Did you say slap the shit out of me?
Yep.
Smack the shit out of you.
As each of you have that irritating voice reach your ears, it does pierce quite a bit deep. It seems to very much so be intentional. However, each of you are able to shrug it off. Zanashi, open hand smack or close fist?
It's gonna be an open hand.
All right, give me an unarmed strike at advantage. Slapping Togo right across the face. Stopping the words, that annoying sound. Togo, I believe you will take 5 damage.
Oof.
Hey.
Yeah, if I wasn't raging.
Yeah, rage was the 7. That's what I was trying to remember for sure, but I was pretty 90% confident.
I told you not to promise me with a good time, Zanashi.
Gag him if you have to.
At this point, Modar, I feel your detect magic will be finishing up. You do indeed detect magic coming from the pick. You can sense that there are multiple schools of magic. The clearest one that you can pick up is necromancy.
What about the loot or Togo himself? Like I've cast detect magic with them around before. Like I know what magic items he normally has on him. Is anything off? Is anything different than it normally would be?
I'm sorry. I was trying to just double check something. There are 2 more schools of magic that you pick up, besides necromancy, but it just seems a bit foggy. It doesn't come through quite clear. What was your question again?
With Togo himself, like I said, I've cast this dozens of times around him in various times, looking at things. Is anything different about him, his loot? Like I would have known ahead of time whether his loot was magical or not in the past. Is it now? Is there anything?
I mean, the loot is no longer magical. There does seem to be a bit of conjuration magic floating around Togo as well.
Is no longer magical, as in his loot was at one point magical?
It's not magic.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's like I said. I know what he normally had on him for magic stuff, or what his aura normally is. So it is a little different. Conjuration around him.
A slight bit of conjuration around him. It seems very faint. And then 3 schools, 2 unclear, 1 being necromancy coming from the pick.
conjuration you said around here, right?
Indeed.
All right. Well, Togo, you definitely are not yourself. Now,
To be fair, I'm not me either.
well, who is me?
There is no me. Me is gone. And so is Togo. So it's really just we.
Who
Or I.
was? Who was me?
Who was me? Who?
What do you
That is
What
a
do you
wonderful
mean
question.
Togo is gone?
Honestly, I don't know who was me is.
What about I?
Oh, I'm Togo. And Togo is me. Well, Togo is we.
So you're both Togo.
We are together. It's kind of like a weird marriage.
And what does... Do both of you agree with this marriage?
Yes, till death do us part and all that.
Can we speak with Togo?
Kind of. Because Togo is me. I am
The
Togo,
other-
and Togo is me.
The
Into the
other
human
Togo.
mind, right, Modar?
It's,
Togo, we are looking to talk to the original Togo.
He's kind of here, kind of not. Like I said, it's kind of hard to take. It's kind of hard to take it back.
What is that? And I will point over towards the pick.
It's really badass, is what it is.
If you don't give Togo back, we are going to find a way to kill you.
And
Well,
believe
if you
me,
kill me, you're not getting Togo back.
and I'm
and-
gonna look at him as dead serious as I can. If Togo is in there, and if you can communicate with him at all, he'll tell you she won't hesitate to kill you both if it means she'll kill you.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. Like I said, I'm Togo, and Togo is me. Togo
Alright.
is we.
Well,
Modar,
Can the
you're,
two- can
you're the
these two-
smart one. How do we get this demon out of him?
I'm working to figure out what this is right now.
We were hoping to talk to the Togo when he was I before we...
Listen, Zanashi, if you don't let me go right now, I will put you back to sleep where you came from.
I'm smacking him again.
Togo, as you become a bit more accepting of what is exactly happening, your voice does begin to emanate through from time to time.
Hey, guys. Modar, it's the pick. Look at the pick.
With that,
But
I'm
I think I'm okay-ish.
with that, I'm gonna turn towards the pick and
Just please
Start.
don't break it.
start to identify it.
This is gonna be a minute.
Yeah, I know. He takes forever to do this.
Yeah, really does.
I really wish you could speed something like this up.
I mean, really, could you just use a spell slot or something?
Like, honestly.
We don't
gonna
need
be
the
here
extra
for a while.
commentary, Togo.
A really long while.
Listen, you already had the commentary from me. This is just a little bit more. It's like I have someone else to sit here and banter while Modar casts spells and Zanashi sharpens her axe.
Yeah, like Two's Company. You ever see that
Three's
show?
Three's a crowd. Like,
It's
come on,
called
guys.
Three's Company.
If you start
No,
embracing
crap.
2 Togos, I may need to knock both of you out.
I guess you could call us Two Go.
That's a good one. I like that.
To go to sleep.
Now, Zanashi, are we gonna have to cast sleep on you?
Yeah, like this would be the fourth time that's happened? Whew.
Good luck.
I don't like this puppet show you're putting on.
Pistol, Modar, I PM'd you your identify.
Yep. Thank you.
What can I say? We're two of a kind, and we're outside in.
No,
We're birds
you're
of a
not
feather, you
two of
might
a
say.
kind. You're Togo. Just
Togo.
Togo.
Two Go.
You're
Like
wrong.
I said, it's kind of hard to walk it back.
Please stop.
I have a feeling that Togo wouldn't stop. Would you, Togo?
I mean, I've not been known to stop in the past. Do I ever really give up from a opportunity to have some fun?
Yes, this is really just more of the same. You should be used to it, Alencia.
Modar, I'm losing patience.
I didn't know you were a doctor.
At this point, Modar, your identify will be
Yeah.
complete.
Yeah.
I'm
Alright,
dying on laughter
I
when
just-
I'm on mute, by the way.
I want a definition on defeat from the DM on that.
Excuse me?
After defeating, do I detect that it is an actual combat, or is it in some sort of riddle or something along those lines?
Oh, it's definitely a riddle, my friend.
So, Modar, just so I have an idea of what it is I may or may not have gotten into by apparently joining into some mystical music duel, what is that pit?
Well, this would be the pick of destiny.
Well,
Yes, it's seems to have been formed from the tooth of a demon.
I was right. There's a damn demon in it.
Well, yes, there seems to be a slight chance of a demon of summoning a demon whenever you make a performance check, and then after we defeat the demon, it will vanish.
All right, but it didn't say what kind of demon, though, did it? Perhaps you'd like a little backstory?
Well, demon, can we trust anything that you have to say?
I mean, probably.
If
get
I
the
say
feeling
probably
he could
not, would you
re-
believe me? But if I say
No, but-
probably, you still wouldn't believe me.
You have something to say,
Here,
so why don't you say it?
Modar, I believe him just because I get the feeling he could probably keep me from talking now, but he's not, which means that he just, as long as I'm not trying to kick him out, he's perfectly happy to let me be. Right?
Yes, it's he seems to be very hostile towards the user, but I'm not so sure he's going to let any of us live if anything goes awry here.
Togo, you can't just accept this, can you?
To go.
I'm not referring you to that. I'm asking Togo, and he knows who I'm talking to.
I think that's a no-go on Togo. Because he's to go.
Shut up.
I mean, Olympia, if I'm being honest, I don't think I could just like get him out. So
So we're
Well,
gonna
I
have
spent
to
the
do
last 2 hours.
something.
I spent the last 2 hours trying to get him out, and then I realized that if I just stop trying to do that, I can be out and about and doing my own thing, just
Is that so?
carefree.
Yeah, sharing is caring.
In that case, never mind.
So what's backstory time? Because you obviously can get things from me, but I have no idea
Well,
about what you are. Or
if you must
who you were.
absolutely know, or if I apologize, if I must absolutely know, my name is Zay Monde, a succubus overlord and sick ass lute player of the deep. The tooth of that very pick is mine, the tooth of blackest night, and the only piece left of my original body, the rest of which burnt up and cast into the abyss, completely destroyed, with no chance of coming back. However, my tooth has skid across the cosmos, taking one lute player to the next, and joining with them, becoming them, and thus becoming Tugo, and so much more.
Do I believe him from the first 5 seconds he started talking?
Probably not.
Give me an insight check.
24.
Kyle is being really quiet, which
I
means
know,
he's
I'm just
laughing on
dying.
mute. I did not write
I'm a
anything prior to
succubus.
tonight.
It's awesome loot player of the deep.
Do you want to?
I did not write
deception or
anything before
persuasion?
tonight. This was all written at 7:30 or later.
Oh, you believe him, Valencia. I had to catch my breath for a moment.
Okay, so this.
So why are you here on this realm?
You know, that's a great question.
Why are we all here? What is life?
That is exactly what we were thinking.
What happens if you're separated from Togo?
Well, that sounds like a no-go to me.
But if it somehow were to happen,
You
To give
know,
you the
it hasn't
feeling of
happened yet with positive results, but you're welcome to try. I will say, though, it doesn't end well.
for who?
Yes.
Valencia, the feeling that I have right now is like I have two nice little balls sitting in my head. And right now they're sitting there nice and comfortably. When I was trying to push them out, it was like there was static. It was like I was looking from things from so far away that it was like he could slide in front of me. Like I could slide in front of me, sorry. So I would like to imagine that if one would be taken out, I would only feel empty without the ability to speak or move, which is what I'm afraid of. Because that's what was happening when I wasn't in control.
But that isn't you. You're not balancing two personalities.
To be honest,
You're
I think you should thank us. We just made Tugo immortal. He will forever live on as us. Don't you know? Demons don't die. They just go home.
I
have a
don't want
question,
a demon inside of you.
What happened to the gnome you were inhabiting before this?
He is us.
How do we get it out of him?
Well, we can't just pass it on to the next person because it seems like from what he's saying that Togo is. Do I know anything about succubus?
You can roll me a history check at advantage.
Well, you see, when a mommy demon and a daddy demon get together, they do this thing. And, and I'm gonna, give you a knowing look. And do I need to explain the thing to you?
I don't know. Don't worry about explaining too much to me. I'm usually I'm pretty smart on most subjects.
Monar, you know a decent amount about succubus. Definitely some, well, deceptive creatures that attempt to drain your will with a kiss. Sharp claws and a devilish charm that can make anyone weak and faint of heart.
But I'm technically no longer a succubus anymore. I'm something else. In fact, right now, I could even be a halfling. I'm sorry, we could be a halfling. So sorry, Tugo.
So, we have the two personalities. Are there more? Are there any of the other personalities left in there that are still separate, or are they all united with yourself?
Not that I'm feeling or sensing, but who knows?
The gnome knows.
I pull
No
Mordar
one
aside.
knows.
You see, you're getting it.
I pull Modar aside and say, I think Togo's just playing along because that's the only way he can talk. So, if you can, maybe you can use that whisper spell on him, and maybe he can talk without the other one hearing, maybe? And, just ask him if he truly wishes for this, or if he doesn't want this demon inside of him.
That's a really good idea. You should try it.
You don't hear this.
I turn around and I look at them and I actually concentrate on Zamanda and I want to try and send a message to him saying, well, I guess there's only one way to find out if your two consciouses are separated or not. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry,
And
is that
then-
directed to me or to...
Yeah, that was being directed towards you, but then I'm gonna turn and then I'm gonna look. So Togo, did you hear me?
That's a good question. Did I hear him?
No,
want me to
you
link
did not when that message was sent to the other. And vice versa, of course.
What, Nodar?
And then I'm gonna send a message, and then I'm gonna look back at you and say, "Well, I just sent a message. I just tried to speak to inside of his mind. Now I'm speaking inside of yours. I suppose this means that he can't hear me, but 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2."
Hey,
And then I'm gonna look at him again, and then I'm gonna look at and say, "So, it seems that we may be able to communicate without you knowing what's going on."
For the love of God, Nodar, why are you using message spell? It's
yeah.
banging
This
around
pointing
my head.
seems awful. This pointing and all seems awful rude.
Modar, you need to give Togo some sort of code as like a yes or no answer, and just please, I have to know if he truly wants to live like this or not, or if we should find a way to force it out of him.
I'm working on it. It seems that and I'm going to say this right out loud so everyone can hear. It seems that the two personalities are currently split. And we
Well,
seem to be able to communicate with both of them separately.
do you know what hydras are? They're these crazy ass dragon snakes, and they have two different heads, but they share the same body. Well, we are still two separate. We are still two separate-ish minds, but we are attached. We are attached mentally and physically. Like I said, we're married.
I really don't want to see him like this anymore.
And I'm going to kind of turn around to Togo and send him the message to Togo. Can you message me like you used to?
I look down at the ropes tying me up. I look back up at Modar. I look back down at the ropes. No.
Fair enough. Is that one yet?
Tugo, would you like some privacy to talk this out with them? They don't seem to like me very much.
Yeah, maybe it would be best if we gave us some privacy to at least discuss things with them, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, that sounds good to us. Please, feel free to do as they will.
And at this point, Toko's eyes dissipate from the red and begin to turn back to normal.
Togo, please explain. What are you feeling?
Now I feel perfectly normal.
No, what do you feel about this? What's happening to you?
I mean, well, honestly, like after we kind of got along, we've been kind of chatting inside me, and like we're getting along pretty well, actually. We seem like we're pretty cool. Like I
But
get the
you don't-
feeling that if
you
we
don't-
kick the entity out, they will die and react very, very poorly to that.
But you don't want that, right?
I mean, it is interesting.
I
I mean, I don't know if we will have this for forever, but I wouldn't say we need to rush to try and find something that we're gonna do about this right now. We are being paid to do something, and there is a very dangerous, spooky island that we
What
may
if-
be trying to get to.
What if this demon gets more powerful the longer he remains a host inside of you? And what if you disappear entirely someday? We don't want that.
Well, we need to figure out how to defeat this demon. I'll be honest with you at this point. I'm more concerned about the fact that it has no interest in leaving witnesses. And we're looking at 3 witnesses right now. I'm not sure how safe it would be to sleep around you, Togo, to be truthful with you.
I just want the original Togo back. Just one Togo is all I want.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Togo?
I mean, yeah, I got that.
It won't leave witnesses. So, at worst case scenario, it means that it's going to kill us in our sleep. Best case scenario, it starts killing random people that figure out what's going on.
Only when I play music, though, based off what I've gathered from what I can learn from inside.
And how long have you ever gone without playing music, Togo?
Or just singing in general.
Togo's legacy. The great and wonderful performer that nobody remembers because nobody's left alive that's ever heard him.
If we if we want to take care of this, it has to be now. But we need your permission, Togo.
Modar, to that one, I don't think anyone who would ever hear me play would be counted as a witness. You have to remember, they also are a bard, and what at times we can be a bit of a, how do you want to say it, vain bunch. I doubt that a supernatural bard that goes around taking people or jumping into people's minds so that they can play music would want nobody to remember they're playing.
It's not the bard I'm worried about, it's the demon.
You're way too carefree about this.
Just remember, this succubus has joined with who knows
Succubus?
how many bards in the past, so it definitely has the personality of a bard, but we're missing something here.
Did you say succubus?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Aren't
But
they known for like consistently draining power and life out of other people?
Indeed.
Who's
Well, then that's why we need to take care of this right now, right?
But you have your fight tomorrow.
I don't care about that. I can rest afterwards. I need to get this out of you now. This matters way more than some petty fight.
At the moment, the only thing we know we have to do is kill it, and that could kill Togo.
I feel like it's necessary to knock him out at least.
How about this? Tomorrow at the fight, I'll try and do another performance. And, well, like you said, there's a chance whenever, in a large group of people that are armed to the teeth, ready to fight, preparing for it, that's a perfect time to summon something to try and get a group of people to kill.
We're not bringing innocent people into this.
Oh, I don't think many of those people in that are innocent.
I don't give a shit.
The question is, Togo, once it's all said and done, they'll just think it was you.
That is a fair point. I don't know.
I'm with Alencia. We need to get this motherfucker out.
I don't know
None of
how
us
you
like
go
this,
about getting him
Togo.
out.
We have to try. Please let us try.
I mean, I am currently tied up and cannot do anything. If you guys want to try something, you can do it, but I would have no idea how to do anything.
After defeating the demon, this property vanishes. What would be considered defeating a demon?
At this point, can each of you roll me a perception check? All four of you. Each of you here, coming from the distance up to the north, a bit towards the main city, parts of the city from Raisk. I think they went this way. And with that is where we will call tonight's session.
Who are they looking for? Oh.
Probably us after you used magic.
No, that's why we're hiding in the barn using magic, and that's why I've got Zanashi on lookout at the door.
Hence why I rolled the high perception, bro.
Well, with that, I hope each of you enjoyed tonight's session. I do hope that we will be able to pick this up again soon. I do know it will depend on a little bit on Alencia's work schedule, but, you know, we'll play it by ear. Just real quick, thank you for our special guest tonight, Dr. Cinnabon.
Happy to be here.
AKA
again.
who is playing Togo.
To go.
Yes, that's right, Togo.
I mean, what can I say? It's been an absolute pleasure. This was a wonderful exercise in improv, and
That it was.
I look forward to coming back next time. I almost
Or-
feel like I should apologize to Nuya because this is the second time I feel like I've kind of like upended him, and that's
I felt like Nia might be having a little bit of PTSD. Like, oh no, the last time he was here it was terrible.
I tried to
Everybody
separate
died.
it, but yeah, you're really ruining stuff consistently.
I'm still waiting for you to get me back, man.
Well, I'm about to kick your ass next session, so yeah.
Excellent. I mean, please, by all means, do so.
Well, does anyone have anything they'd like to shout out before we get out of here? Clue, anybody?
Shout out to my new job and stupid schedule. That's gonna be unpredictable.
Shout out to Zaymonde, Demon Succubus of the Abyss and member of Metal Ika.
Noted. Clue,
I'm
we're
good.
playing TOA tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir. We got Sandman back too.
Yay! Good, good. Well, with that, all the affiliates, partners that give a little bit of support to the stream, you can see their logos up in the top left, and you can find their corresponding links down below. In the bio, you can find all the social media. Join the Facebook, the Twitter, all that stuff. Try to post at least daily. And other than that, have a good night. Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night.